My people, what up, though? We are back with another episode of All Black Men Need Therapy. My name is Chief.
And I'm Bell.
My name is Prentice, and I'm smoking on sativa.
And we ain't apologizing for us not having an episode out in a while. We've been busy, you know what I'm saying? But we wanted to make sure we got back to y'all. So here we are. I'm not apologizing, fellas. Yo, I miss y'all dudes, man. It's been a while. I know we talk every other day, but that ain't the point. We ain't get down like this in a while. P, you got a lot going on, man.
Hold on.
Hold
on. Everybody, hold on. You got a lineup today or something, Chief? You looking sharp.
Nah, well, it might be lasting from the wedding. You know what I'm saying? My raggedy beard might be trying to grow in a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I appreciate
that
you.
Shirt with the horsey on it.
It's the shirt with the horsey on it. Bell said, Chief, you got a pink Galaxy tee on? You don't see the horsey? Anywho, Bell, you got to fix that mic, B. Pause. P, check in.
What's wrong with it? Is it still?
You just sound like you hella far back, B.
It sound like that to you. To me, it sound clear.
All right, well, then we good. Hope the people, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, P, check in, B. What's good?
Oh, man, I don't even know where to start, but I feel like I probably should be the middle.
That's going to be all of us.
All right, well, first of all, then I'll check in because Bell said he got some shit on his spirit and P don't know where to start, so I'll go first. Ain't really much going on in my world. Just been working all summer. Supposed to have the summer off, but it ain't happening like that. So I'm still working. Kids are happy and healthy. That's a win. I'm preparing for my play. For those of you who follow me on IG, Facebook, whatever, I am bringing my play. It's been on my spirit for a while, man, and I just was like, you know what, F it, I'm on it. Let's do it. So I was workshopping some theaters, trying to find some, and I wanted to do a big joint, but it was reserved on the night I wanted to do it. So the local one in town where I've done it there before, I just, but then I was like, you know what, this is where it should be. Home.
So 300 seats?
300. It was 372, but it's 300 now, so I don't know what happened. But
downsize.
Word. Nevertheless, so on September 24th, I'm bringing my stage play. I Wish Life Had Training Wheels back to the stage for a one night only live recording event with the audience and whatnot. It's gonna be pretty dope. I'm kind of excited about it, man. I'm doing some small edits and whatnot. Gonna have some different staging, nothing crazy, elaborate, but just it's gonna have a different feel to it. Gonna have some musical accompaniment with it. It's gonna be dope. I'm hella excited, man. I put a little pre-sale joint out, and the crazy thing is only 55 tickets. Like, it's 55 tickets pre-sale, but the joint sold in like 30 hours. So I'm like, and this is 2 months. This is 2 months before the show. Like, cats ain't buying tickets 2 months before. I ain't Beyonce, B. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't want to just say a day. They sold in a day. You had to say 30 hours.
Because it was 30 hours. Like, literally, the time went off.
He was trying to keep it modest, but
it was cool. So, you know what I'm saying? From the time it was released to the time it was done, everybody bought tickets. So it made me feel good. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know you had a. Well, I'm also not on social media like that.
Yeah. So
to be known.
That's kind of it. Made me feel good. Like, that cats was supporting me. They was rocking with your boy. And again, it's only 55 tickets, but it sold in a quick amount of time, 2 months away from the show. You dig? So that's a win for me. Outside of that, bro, I've been slimming down. Shorty's like, listen, if you're gonna be on stage and you're gonna film this, you need to start taking care of your skin. You need to lose some weight. You need to focus on all this shit she's making me do. So I'm trying to get right and just go out, let this be something special. And the date is super significant too, for those of you who know me, but otherwise you'll find out at the show. But it's real dope.
You want to give the fans the date?
I said it already. You not listening to me? You on the podcast with me? You not listening?
Pretty sure you didn't say it. Pretty sure you didn't say it.
I'm 100% positive I did.
You didn't say it. Two of us are saying you didn't say it.
When you both watch the episode and you hear that I said it, call me and apologize.
I'll do you one better. I'll go on YouTube and comment, I'm sorry.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I'll do the same.
Bet.
I got
Bet. Anyway.
Now, what are you going to do when you realize you didn't say it?
Yeah.
Give me $5.
I'll give you $5 and I'll go on YouTube and apologize to you.
Okay, perfect.
All right. And tag you on Instagram.
I need US currency.
All of that.
No doubt. P, come on, B. Check in. Mine's is simple. I mean, I ain't got
I'm gonna I feel like Bell really got stuff, so I'm gonna try to keep it short. Man, I don't even Justice just got home from being gone for 6 weeks.
How was
Yo,
Visiting
that?
his
I
mom.
feel like that was the last episode. I feel like you was dropping them
I just
off.
dropped my son off. Wait,
Yeah, I think that was the
Oh
last
shit, was
crazy.
it? God damn, we've been gone
nah,
for
I
a
don't think
minute.
it was that. Was it that long?
No, I'm definitely. I promise you. I think that's when it was.
Ouch.
Yeah.
God, we are
Yeah, we got to
tripping.
do
We are
better.
bugging.
We got to do
Yeah.
Yeah,
better.
so he just got back last week, man, and I had a little bit of PTSD, anxiety from the last school year, so I had to really take that time to kind of reprogram myself. You know what I mean, and keep in mind his age, where he's at, the transition. So I was kind of nervous with him coming back, man, because I put so much like weight on myself for him to be successful. And since he's been back, man, I can see such a difference in him. He's inch and a half taller. He damn near, he
Wow.
definitely my eye level, if not taller now, man. Got more chin hair. Came back just more focused. He was catting off out there in Florida, just cutting up, but he came home, man, and he seemed different. You know what I'm saying? Like he seemed older. Like I thought I didn't know what to expect because he was cutting up out there, man. And ever since he's been home, he's just been great, man, and a pleasure. So um that was humbling to remind me to kind of like check myself and remember, like, these are kids, and also that I have time to get this shit right and to feel successful in the areas where like I feel like I'm failing. Um we less than 90 days away from the wedding, man. We took them engagement photos yesterday and already got them back, which was super dope.
Them Jones was
Damn,
cold
that was
too, man. The
quick.
ones I saw was cold.
Bruh, she's the one who did our maternity photos too. Shout out to Monique Yvette. Y'all check her out. I tag her on the post on my Instagram. But she got them back to us in less than 12 hours. She's just nice like that. Like
That's
she's
what's
an
up.
amazing photographer, bro.
That's
She
really dope.
doing
Comfortable. So,
she doing the wedding?
yeah, so we got that, man. We got the invitations, all that. We done solidified everything. So, we just still paying off everything. Uh Man, and everything's good. Like the kids are straight. School just started back up. Tip's the last one to go back to school. He go back to school on Thursday.
Oh, y'all started
So
already out there. Okay.
they started this week, man. So Anaya and Justin in school this week. So it's back to the school routine and schedule off the road. Had some dope shows in Brooklyn and wherever the fuck else I was. Oh, I was in Atlanta too, and had some shows out there. Shout out to everybody who came out supported. Um, but yeah, bro. So you know what I mean. I'm just moving towards this wedding, man. Trying to get right. Oh, last thing. So um, I gotta get therapy. It sounds crazy. Everybody gonna be like, "Yeah, we've been telling y'all this shit."
So
I'm gonna tell you why, but
before you continue that comment, I just want you to know that you promised our followers the last time we
I
spoke
did.
that by the end of the week you would be in therapy. So I think you owe our
I
people.
told her she searched that shit too, man. Yeah, man. It no excuse, but it clearly ain't as I think it's easy as we wish it was.
AP,
But
before we
it
forget,
but it is at the same time.
adjust your joint so like you know what I mean, so you fully in the screen. So when they edit
Gotcha.
it and whatnot.
My bad.
Yeah.
So I got to because I found myself as this wedding is getting closer, man, paying so much attention to the organic nature of Sarai's family and the experiences they get to have with each other um in the process of this, and still kind of like envying that reality. That makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I get mine, I accept mine. I'm okay with my parents not being there and not a lot of family being there. However,
Oh, wow.
I wish.
Your mom's not coming still, huh?
Oh no, nothing has changed, man. You know what I mean? Like I ain't heard from her, so and nothing's changed, man. But seeing, just seeing the joy and just the shit they get to do. You know what I mean? Like just seeing it is like, damn, man, like fuck. You know what I mean? And not like an invitation would change anything. Not a quick fix, but just the reality of my family dynamics um don't compel me to feel like like other people do sometimes. That makes sense. Like I didn't necessarily choose my dynamics. To an extent I did, right? But you're born into family, right? You're born into your parents are who they are. I just kind of wish things were a little bit more solid for me in this moment, in this wedding. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of wish that it resembled a little more what Sarai's family resembled. You know, and I'm okay with with the things being the way they are. I am okay with that. But still, I think because this is my first time getting married. Like that shit I did before, that wasn't that wasn't marriage at all. And minus the details, but this is my first time really doing this, you know, from head to toe. Um, and I do kind of wish things had played out differently at this point. And I found myself um giving off that energy to Sarai in different ways. You know what I mean? Like just the kind of envy. I found myself kind of like I would be short sometimes. You know what I mean? She wondering what's wrong, and I'm not. I can't really articulate it. I don't really know it's that. You know what I'm saying? I know that shit has been on my brain, and about telling myself I'm not tripping, but I found myself being short with her, and I think it culminated in me like flashing, and then having to be like, okay, why the fuck did I flash? Because at the end of the day, that shit didn't make no sense. And then I was like, fuck, this shit is fucking with me way deeper than I choose to really like admit, man. Like I tell myself, I talk about it a little bit, but it it I thought as long as I could ask myself a million times, am I okay with these dynamics at my wedding, and be like genuinely, yes, I'm okay with them, everything was okay. But just because I'm okay with the dynamics being the way they are, um, I don't think I'm necessarily okay with I am okay with. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm sorry,
You
man.
fine, bro.
That's what we here
I
for,
ain't
B.
talking to nobody's body, but I'm okay with things being the way they are, but at the same time, I wish they were not. That makes sense. I'm okay with the way they are, but I wish they weren't that way. I do, because I would love to have something this important, um, and share it with some of the people I see her sharing it with. And I know my friends matter, and I know my extended family matters, and all that's good. I just kind of, you yearn for a dynamic you never really got, and I feel like this wedding is putting that more in perspective for me. Like I'm realizing that, oh shit, beyond just the family I'm creating and have created, if you keeping it real, P, you do wish your shit was different. You do wish shit would have turned out differently. You do wish, you may have been closer with cousins, or maybe didn't hold on to some of the experiences you held on to that make you feel the way you do. But the fact of the matter is I do. You know what I'm saying? But I think the closer we get to it and the more I get to see them do things, I really realize I really got to get into therapy, because I would never want anything that isn't her fault to get in the way of any joy that has to do with getting married. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get this shit together, because the fact that I allowed that to come out about this, that shit is really deeply rooted, because I'm really excited about getting married, but at the same time, it's fucking with me within the process of getting married. You know what I mean? Like it's surfacing during this joyful process. So I can't fucking be okay. I can't possibly be okay if right now, in the greatest time of my life, it's getting to me enough to give her some bad energy. So I don't really know what to do with those thoughts. Yeah, sign up for therapy and shit, but I still feel like, what do you do when you're okay with shit, but you ain't okay with certain things about it? Because I can't lie, I'm okay with who's on my list. I'm so solid with that. I'm okay with life right now. I just wish that shit didn't, that shit wasn't like that. I just wish it turned out a little bit differently, so that at the wedding, you know what I'm saying? Like I wish I could get a piece of that, man. Like it is whack not having no dance with your moms and knowing you're not gonna do that. It is whack knowing, you know what I'm saying, like your pops ain't gonna be there. Like, don't nobody want that shit. And I think I tell myself so much, well, it is what it is. I understand they people. It's just fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wish it wasn't like this shit. But there's nothing I want to do about it. There's nothing. I still stand exactly where I stand. I don't want to do anything about it. I don't know if I wasn't getting married, I don't think I would be tripping. But I think because I am, and because I want to allow myself to feel the joy to 110%, that's an aspect that prevents me from doing that. So I wish that shit was better. because then I can get more on this day that I'm really, really looking forward to, man. So I don't know. All that shit was on my brain, but my bad. I mean, I'm not
No,
my
don't.
bad, but
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
you not. I don't mean it like that because
yeah.
obviously that's why we here. But I didn't expect to necessarily go that deep about it. But that shit is just it just I don't know, man. It's crazy how in the best time of your life things can happen that still just remind you that you got shit. You know what I'm saying? I think I was using this wedding and preparing for it to kind of um I don't know. I guess I thought maybe I'm a little bit more healed than I actually am. You know, we do this shit all the time. We talk all the time, whether it's on a podcast or not. I do see progress in myself. I think maybe I was allowing this shit to kind of to allow me to believe that I didn't have as much more work to do as I really do. And like I said, when this shit surfaced within my like getting married and having bad energy, I was like, damn, bro, like I really gotta some more shit I gotta fucking deal with, and I gotta figure out how to do it, and I gotta do it ASAP because I don't, I want all this joy on that day. That's it.
Well, first of all, man, thanks for sharing. Um, Clearly it's been on your spirit, right? If you planned on giving a quick check-in, you know what I'm saying? And then we
Yeah, I told y'all it's good I went second, man, because I'd have took
yeah.
up
Give
this
me a
whole.
couple minutes, man.
Nah,
I'm good, bro.
nah, you could have went longer if
Right.
necessary. I think so a couple questions come to mind for me when you say this, right? And you may have just needed to vent, and that's cool. But the way my mind works and where my brain goes, I'm like a solutions guy, right? So my first question was how, right? Like how do you get what you're yearning? Now you don't have to answer these. These are the things I want you to think about, like how, right? And how much of this is on you, right? Like how much could you personally impact in terms of change, right? Because clearly the status quo bothers you more than you realized. And big moments like this amplify it, right? Whereas if you didn't have this big moment, you may not even know, and it may not have been a big deal, been kind of ignorance is bliss type situation. You know what I'm saying? But now that this is a big moment, it means something to you. And ultimately what that tells me is those people mean a lot to you, regardless of their place in your life right now, right? Like they mean a lot, like because it bothers you that they're not there to enjoy this moment with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, what you're saying makes sense. It 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 doesn't bother me that they aren't there to celebrate it with me. The dynamics that led to this being the reality are what bother me.
Let me ask you this. Why doesn't it bother you that they're not there?
Because I know that I've always had a choice on how I'm choosing to handle these two relationships. I know at any point in time I could choose to reach out and communicate whatever it is, regardless if it's received, regardless if it's a voicemail, it's direct conversation. I know that I have the option to pick up a phone and make that phone call, to send that text message. And I choose not to. You get what I'm saying? Because, and I'm okay with choosing not to. So I know that I could do something to make my current reality not my future reality, or at least attempt to. You know what I'm saying? I know I can. That's not what I want to do. I think I'm more so in a space where it's
Why don't you
bringing,
want to do it?
because okay, this is how I feel, man. I'm not into trying to repair anything so that anybody can show up to my wedding. I'm not willing to jeopardize that day for anything or anyone. Nothing. And if I don't trust anybody's behavior, if seeing somebody is going to make me feel any way other than happy, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like, and this is my thing too. So Pops dipped on me early. The man who raised me from 4 to 17, when I found out he was cheating, he bounced on me. These abandonment things, I got tired of getting like the deuces. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point, anybody, if you're gonna give me the deuces and stand 10, stand firm on that, I'm gonna allow you to do that. And so that's when it becomes to like me looking at them as people, because I can allow them to do that because I'm not thinking from the space of the son. The son is was devastated, which is why I had to look at it beyond the space of just the son. So I'm not upset that they're not there because they chose that shit. You get what I'm saying? Like ultimately
but it
I
doesn't
have the
mean.
choice, but
Go ahead.
you said what?
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying they chose these dynamics, man. Like all I did was stop, set a boundary that, you know what I'm saying, people wasn't willing to respect. That's all I did. You
It
know what I'm
doesn't
saying? And
mean.
for me,
I'm just saying,
huh?
even with all those feelings though, Pete. Like I hear you, and it kind of sounds like what you were saying before when you were saying like, I'm mad that it's this way, but I'm not mad that it's this way. But my thing is, even with all that being said, doesn't mean it doesn't still hurt. Doesn't mean you're not still you're like you're impacted by it, but you're not impacted by it, but you are.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what's tripping me out now is that it does in a way like, but I my brain doesn't tell me that the pain comes from their absence at the wedding. My pain and the hurt comes from how the fuck you gonna do this shit? How you gonna disrespect me this way? You know what I'm saying? Like my pain comes from like, how the fuck did you allow your relationship to even get to this fucking point where your child got to make a decision? That's like the shit that fucking hurts. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, it leads to shit like the wedding. It leads to the absence, the no rapport anymore.
Yeah.
That's the shit I'm mad about because I just feel that like as like you just don't do that, man. You just don't do that. You don't do that.
So when we spoke,
You,
Bell, if I may, Pete, when we spoke, I spoke to Pete a while ago, kind of about the situation. And he was just saying, was it the wine tasting, Pete, that kind of set you off a little bit? It's like he went to go, the moms went to with Sarai to go wine tasting or whatever, and like he didn't realize that he was harboring these, those feelings, those emotions when he saw that or when he experienced that with Sarai and her mom, and was it mom and best friend or something? I can't remember who it was, but some people, family were with Sarai on this wine tasting or the food tasting, whatever it was, and it kind of like that was like a trigger for him, like okay, in the
yeah,
moment.
yeah. That's what it was. It was we had a tasting. We had a tasting, and her mom was coming, and her best friend was coming, and I got into my feelings about it and realized that I was in my feelings because
You didn't
I
have.
couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Or not I couldn't, but that just wasn't my circumstances in the now. That wasn't my reality. And so that's what kind of led to everything else. And then when we got there, I was so glad they came because I realized how much this shit is for everybody. Like everybody who supports and loves us and fucks with us, that's what this is about. But yeah.
Dude, this sounds like there's a lot of shit going on, bro. Um, it sounds like there's some resentment. It sounds like there's some pride. It sounds like there's some abandonment. It's definitely some trauma that's being triggered. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. It's a lot of emotions that I can only
Yeah.
imagine that you're harboring.
Well, well, that's I think that's the thing about it is that I have to deal with it because it's showing its face within, like I keep saying, like joy, a time of joy. Like I'm happy, bro. And I think the only reason why I'm able to see this clearly is because I'm so happy. I'm not damaged to the point where, shit like this I just absorb and say just another day. Like it affects me enough to be able to be aware and to speak on that shit. So it just sucks that the wedding is what is causing this to resurface for me now. And I just get tired of getting fucking older and having new family shit that I'm dealing. You get what I'm saying? Like after a while, it's like fuck, man. Like how old do I gotta be for this shit to fucking feel like it stops or I'm at peace with this shit, man? Like or something new gonna happen at fucking I don't know what age next. You know what I'm saying? So I think all that just kind of play the part in the game because it's just the most joyous day, and like this is the best time of my life, man. Like I know I got to deal with it because I don't want that shit. So yeah, I think I got a little bit of all that, but I think it's just kind of shifted in a way where um it's showing its face in different ways, man. So I got to figure out what the fuck to do with it.
So what's the first step?
I have no clue, but I'll tell you the truth. I really don't know, man. I've been trying to process, so obviously talking about it, I guess helps. I definitely did not expect to talk about this shit on a podcast, man. I really did. This was a lot more than I know. This shit is on my heart because I'm very surprised I talked about this. I think after we hang up, I'm gonna be like, fuck, because I don't even want this to be public shit. I ain't tripping. We already did it, but
But I think, dude, I think you've talked about all these things on the podcast. You talked about your relationship with your mom, you talked about your relationship with your dad. Now this is like how it's impacting you. You know what I'm
right. But this
saying?
is a lot more direct than me being vulnerable. Me talking about it before, I think
Exactly.
was me trying to kind of like let a little bit of the air out without divulging too
Mhm.
much. But right now, I know what it is. I know I want to deal with it. So I know if I'm a talk, it got to come out, right? So I'm not gonna get no help. I'm not gonna get any assistance if I don't talk about it. And I know I want to deal with it now because I just don't want that, man. I don't want that for me. I don't want this to be like the trauma that stays any longer than it has to. I just don't know how to I don't know what to do with this for me.
Well, the
You know
first
what I
the
mean?
first step, man, is to seek help.
All right, let me be the most ironic person on a podcast ever, probably. Beyond seeking help, right? Because I've been to therapy several times. Um, Beyond seeking help, what do I do? That's like I feel like seeking help is therapy, yes, and I'm gonna get assistance and I'm gonna get some helpful answers to that question of what do I do. And I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but I mean beyond the therapy you can receive, beyond anything anybody else can tell you, what do I do? What do I do when none of the practices and nothing I practice or set up in therapy is working? What do I do with this shit? Does that
Well,
make sense?
it does. To me at least.
Yeah,
Chief, go ahead. He's gonna say
I'm just
something.
gonna say for
Speak up, but I can't hear you.
keep um in essence doing what you're doing, because you just elaborate on how much joy you're carrying and joy you're harboring. And then this last sentence, you're already assuming the worst per se. You're already like, well, what when I do all this stuff and have all these things, what if that don't work?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's
But
not
that's
even
what
what
you
I
just
mean.
said.
That's what it sounded like.
That's what you just said.
Okay, okay. What I meant was you get help, you get assistance, you do all that in therapy. But in my experience with getting therapy, this is my experience. There are practices that I took from there. There are things that are very useful, and there were still times where I felt like therapy was irrelevant. In those
Let,
times where therapy feels irrelevant, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying that shit didn't work. Just in those times that feel where therapy and outside assistance from every and anyone feels irrelevant because I have those feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like I have feelings sometimes where nothing else matters. What the fuck do I do?
let me ask you this couple questions. One, collectively, how many times have you been to therapy? Total.
For
4 total.
never for
And
myself.
okay, so that's telling, right? One. Um, you're
Yeah.
expecting results to your problems for going as a collective, right? Or going in support of somebody else. That's one. Two, it's like, um, have you ever been to therapy as the person you are today? Damn, where the hell Prentice must have fell off. So I'm gonna have to repeat my question.
Can you remember what it is? He'll tap back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah. P, my question was, have you been to therapy as the person you are before us today?
No.
Right. So you don't know what that's gonna look like now. You're not the same person. Like Chris Rock
Yeah.
said it, right? Chris Rock said it. He tried therapy. It didn't work. And it didn't work because he was sending a representative. It wasn't himself. Like he was there physically, but he wasn't being his true authentic self. He was being who he thought his therapist wanted him to be. Therefore, that person couldn't receive the help because that wasn't the person that needed the help. Right. So you've grown. Like you talk at length on the podcast about how you're in a different space in your life. Right. So I think some of that, and again, I'm not a therapist. We're not therapists, ladies and gentlemen, but some of that hurt, I think, Prentice, and this is just my opinion, right? I think some of that is pride too, bro. Like I think, like I can hear, I can hear it in your voice.
It may be, but there comes a point in time, man, where, you know, sometimes you gotta stand on certain shit, man. You know what I mean? Like I don't really know how to explain it. It very well may be pride to an extent, but sometimes you gotta stand on your shit if you have not been, especially if the answer has been my choices. So even though this circumstance is what it is, I cannot say that it has not drastically improved my life. Just because it brings issues inside of me, it doesn't mean it was the wrong decision and that I'm making the wrong decision. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's what you're implying.
No, I
but
get
I'm
it.
just saying, like, I absolutely know 110% that I've made and am making the right decisions. It's just the repercussions that come with it, which you also got to accept, and these are one of them. So, there definitely could be some pride there. We're all prideful people in this dynamic, in this between me and my parents. We're all prideful people.
Yeah, man. And I think seeking help will help you sift through, right? What self-imposed, right? What is beyond your control, right? And then what you do going forward, because at the end of the day, bro, like we say, if you don't address your trauma will address you. Right now, it sounds like it's addressing you a little bit. You know
that's it, and that's why I'm having to deal with it, because it's addressing me. And then, you know, I thought making the decision, and again thinking that I was okay with the decision meant that I was okay. And then boom, you getting married, and then all of a sudden, like, oh shit. Like I got married in the courthouse on my lunch break. You know, the woman asked me to marry her. Real shit, in an Adidas jumpsuit, and went back to work on a cheating foundation. There was nothing marriage based about what I
married
did
on my lunch break.
We did, bro. Like it was all very bad spontaneous choices, man. And so
God.
I didn't think I would give a fuck about the things I give a fuck about in context of this whole process. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think, you know, some of this shit would matter to me. So it's interesting because I find out they matter to me through this kind of, you know, I don't know if it's trauma, whatever the fuck I'm going through. Like it's kind of fucked up finding out that it does matter, because oh shit, you gotta funnel through all this shit about what's going on with you. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I can't just have a little jealousy moment. It really got to be some really deep shit going inside that I truly have to deal with in order for me to even realize I gave a fuck.
Yep. So it says that tells me that maybe some of the shit you stood on, right, may need to be revisited. Not changed necessarily, but just revisited, right? To see if you still feel that same way about whatever the principal reason was you did it.
I do that daily, bro. I do that daily. I do it daily, man.
And then the other question would be like, what is it going to cost you to be lenient? And what does it cost you to not be?
All good points.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's like, look, dude, it's like freedom of speech, right? Like you got the right to say whatever the fuck you want to say. You got to deal with the consequences, though, of what those words do to somebody, right? Or do to a collective. You still got the right to do it. Nobody's telling you not to do it, but you still got to live with it thereafter. So your decision at that time may have made perfect sense to you logically, right? It may make perfect sense to you still, but then you got to ask yourself at what cost, right? What is this
Yeah.
costing me? That's all.
Yeah,
And if you cool with the price, then that's what you got to wrestle with now, not the emotion, right? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, Bill. I'm cool with the price.
but you're not
It's
though.
now. Yes, I am.
But you're not, though.
I am. The cost of it isn't making me reconsider its value. It's not. It's not.
Sounds
It
like it
sucks.
sounds like it's doing exactly that. And maybe I'm totally misunderstanding everything you just said.
And
I
even
might
if it's
be
not, even if
not
it's
be-
not reconsidering its value, P, it's definitely, for lack of a better term, it's just weighing on you.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, so something's happening is my point. Something's happening. That's what
But
you got to
what-
get clarity on.
What can I do about something I don't want to do anything about? You feel what I'm saying? Like, what does that make sense? Like, I don't
But
want to do anything about it.
That's a great question. What can I do?
I don't want to do shit about it, Bill. I don't want to change it.
But-
I like them. Like, I wish they weren't what they are, but the daily thought that my parents don't fuck with me and I don't fuck with my parents, the daily thought of that is, well, and I can't even say that because that's giving too much. It's not that I don't fuck with them, it's that they chose not to fuck with me, so I set a boundary. And they don't fuck with my boundary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. So when we talk about the cost would be me wavering on new principles that I've set for myself that have benefited my life.
Yeah, so you steadily moving your line in the sand.
If
Well,
you,
I'm not.
if you
That line is
no,
been
yeah,
there.
right.
I'm
If you-
just moving.
No,
right
if
now
you
you're
revisit
not.
it,
Yeah, if you revisit
like,
it,
you've drawn
if you
your line in the
revisit it.
sand, and that's where my line is at, and it's staying there. That's
Yeah. The line is still there. I've just left that area.
So
You get what I'm saying? And so they not fucking with that line.
right. So if that line doesn't move, how do you move past it?
So this is where we go. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's the whole problem right now.
and that's
is that,
okay.
but yeah, it's okay, but it's fucked up because it's coming right now during this fucking marriage.
But
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to. This isn't the fucking.
right.
It's been there.
Yes, but it's heightened and it's showing. It's showing something new now, and it's showing up in a different space in Prentice. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's showing up in a different space in me right now. It's not the angry rah. It's not the. I've processed it all a million times. So now it's showing up when Prentice is calm, Prentice is relaxed, Prentice wishes absolutely no malice. His parents are in his prayers, which is new. You know what I'm saying? Real shit is new. So I know it's progress. Now it's fucking showing up. You know what I'm saying? In regards to my marriage, on things that I thought would be trivial to me that I guess aren't. You know? I don't know if I really gave much thought to ever dancing with my mom at my wedding, but at the same time, my mom ain't never liked nobody I'd ever been with. So that shit would have been fake regardless anyway.
But her
You
joy,
know, like,
her joy would be for you. Because you take pride in seeing your kids happy, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. But if she took pride in seeing me happy, bro, she'd be around, especially now.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm just trying to, play devil's advocate to your recent statement. That's all.
Yeah, no, I feel you, but I feel you. And it's hard to yell, by the way, and it's hard to stay out. This one thing I don't think I ever told you, but it's hard to stay hype when I talk to you because you always talk like you in an R&B video or some shit. You always
I've grown.
So it always brings my calm down. But I know if I'm ever hyped,
I've grown accustomed just via work. Like, I've grown accustomed to like trying to be here. Like, and I was angry too. So I don't want to go back down that road. So I think this is a way that's like a practice to kind of keep myself at this. You know what I'm saying?
So it's how do I, like you were saying, Bill, what do I do with it?
You go talk to a professional, bro.
Yeah. Especially if I can't hold on to it and carry it with me because it's probably gonna show up somewhere else too.
the thing is, it's showing up now because it's been there. You just needed something to get it out. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not saying you move your line. I'm just saying understand. You need to understand what this is doing to you, bro. It's not healthy, right? And I'm not saying that the trauma is right. I'm just saying, like, there's gonna be shit you can't control, bro. Right? You can't control that. Like the saying, right? You can't control what people do to you, just how you respond. And this is your chance to control how you respond. Right? You responded. Now, okay, how do you manage through that decision? Because that decision is
Right.
impacting you. So how do you manage through that decision? That's all it is. It's not saying
Yeah.
you need to go there and reconcile. It's just saying, how do you manage through that decision? And maybe just a question, is this the only decision available?
No.
Only choice available. Another way to say it.
No, I think just
Right?
a reality.
Yeah.
Like,
But talk through that too, right? Like, what does it look like? Like, what does it look like if it's not this? Right? What is that? Could that boundary remain the same, but in a different context? Right. So that way you don't have to back down on your principles.
yeah.
Right. Like, again, not the same level, bro. Not the same level. But I had a conversation just with my wife's best friend recently. She was dealing with some family stuff, business and family, and I dealt with the same thing. And I was like, yo, I didn't talk to my mom for like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Based on the decisions that she made. Right. And because of how it impacted me, I made a decision to not do that. And then I had to make another decision because I knew I saw how that was affecting me and again, not the same, right? This is what I dealt with is probably pales in comparison to what you dealt with your parents. But for me, it was weighing on me, right? It was affecting my relationship with my wife. It was affecting my business relationships. And I had to make a decision. It's like, what is this decision costing me? Right? Am I going to regret this decision? Am I going to regret if something happens not talking to her? Right? And I had, and I stood on, no, she did me wrong. Right? There's no two ways about it. Like, my decision is just. Right? My decision is just. But then again, like I said, it's like freedom of speech. You can say what you want. You got to deal with the impacts of those decisions thereafter. And I didn't want to live with regret. And that was all it was for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I think
And,
that's true. Not
so,
wanting to live with no regret.
yeah, and that was it, man. So I made a decision to put my pride, me personally, my pride, and what I deemed important to me to the side for the greater good, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to G too. I spoke to G the other day, dude. She is funny as hell. Like,
yeah, she told me you called her for something. She was telling me.
I was just inviting her to the play.
Oh, that's what she told me. She told me,
tickets, but I was like,
yeah.
I heard you got my.
You sound hella
You're
rough.
so nice.
Car or yeah, man. So Prentice, in short, bro. First of all, thank you again for getting vulnerable and sharing that. That's not easy, right? Like,
Nah, this shit was. I don't. I'm still not happy that I talked about it on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, just real shit. I'm like, I'm gonna be mad. Like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just real shit. I'm probably gonna be.
I don't think anything bad can come from it though.
Right.
It's not bad. It's just that some things you just ain't ready to make public. You know what I mean?
That's
Some
fair.
things you ain't ready
If
to
you
publicly
want to
talk
hold
about.
off to
And
this,
for
if
me,
you want to hold this episode off until you feel comfortable, we can do that too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, because I feel like everything happens for a reason, right? And I'm not gonna allow
Okay.
Nah, fuck it. I've been on fuck it mode. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Like, I don't. I wish I didn't do it, but I did it. So fuck it.
I think that's a
I'm
really,
not lying.
really good thing, man. Like, I think, like, I wrote it down for my final thought, but I could say it now. Like, I just, like, first of all,
how you get a final thought before we even started?
Because I'm thinking about things that
It's
I
like,
want to.
as soon as this nigga stop talking.
No, I'm just writing. I'm writing down notes of things that I wanted to say to your black ass. And the first part is it was kind of alluding to what Bell was saying, but one is like, thank you for trusting us, bro. Like, like a moment ago, you didn't even realize we were on the podcast. You was talking to the homies. You know what I'm saying? And
oh, that's all this was. Trust. This
but
had
that's
nothing
what I'm
fucking
saying.
do
Like,
with weird.
when shit is on your spirit and we have this space for us to talk and we don't even realize that this is about to go out to the world, you know what I'm saying? So it's important. Like it's important to acknowledge the fact that you trust us, because like you were like almost like
That's a good point.
you flashed or you blacked out, but you blacked out in a space where you felt comfortable. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah, that's
and
a good
that
point.
says that
Very
says a
good
lot.
point.
That says a
Very
lot.
good
Like
point.
you was almost like absent-minded of the audience.
No,
I think
no, that wasn't almost. That was like when I did the system on Version of Flow, but I was not thinking about the fact that we were on this podcast that whole time talking. Because if I did for 1 minute think about the fact that we were recording, I would have shut the fuck up and tailored some shit. So,
So
that's
imagine how much that happens to our listeners on a daily basis.
right.
Right.
But imagine for the ones who don't have people they can trust and talk to.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah. Right. How much of that stuff is being suppressed?
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Again and again and again and again and again, though.
And what events are bringing it to light? Right.
Yeah.
He said he got to leave in 13 minutes. We might be able to get you your black ass. Go ahead.
That's cool. That's cool. You know,
No, y'all can keep going. I just
by
did what I
by
wanted.
design.
Gotta make sure we got everything off your chest, B. You know what I'm saying? If we can help lift the weight a little bit, then so be it.
But shit, like I said, well, I didn't even want to talk about that shit. So, but
And
All right.
Prentice like we will gladly move on.
Bellhead,
Yeah.
we got some time. Check in, man. What's been going on?
Yo, man, a lot, bro.
It has been a lot. When I came up to see you, we haven't recorded for like 2 weeks before that, right?
Bro, we haven't recorded for 6 weeks, man. Like we haven't recorded since like I think the last time we recorded was before the 4th of July.
I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Go. Unload. Cuz.
No, that's not true. We recorded since then because we talked about the episode on the plane with I came to Connecticut. We recorded at your house. That was the last time we recorded. Remember the racist dude on the plane? And that was after the 4th of July.
You know what else we did? What else we didn't say? I saw Bell in Brooklyn 2 weeks ago. Bell came through to the show. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man.
Damn, that was 2 weeks ago. I feel like it was so long ago.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, my check-in. Anyway, so a lot, man. Like I got a lot going on. Part of the reason why I'm holding this bum ass microphone is because I couldn't find the fancy. Well, I found the fancy one, but I couldn't find the connection piece because we're still living out of suitcases and boxes. We closed on the house back in April and underwent major renovations, more than I realized. And we moved in after, because I said I'm homeless, y'all. Like that was the last podcast we talked about. Anyway, we moved in on July 5th, and while on renovation still going on, so living through renovations. So it was a lot, man. I was dealing with a lot. I was dealing with, getting my son acclimated to a new home, which the first probably like week he didn't realize this was home. You know what I'm saying? Like he was, every time it was time for him to go to sleep, he was like, I want to go bye-bye. I want to go bye-bye. And that's what he says when he wants to sleep in his own bed. So it's like, nah, bro, your bed's upstairs. He's like, no, I want to go bye-bye. So getting that taken care of, getting him good. Now he understands that this is his house. Then it's dealing with the emotions of, like for instance, I have a trip tomorrow, literally a 1-day trip, overnight to 2 nights. I'm dreading the trip because I gotta pack. I'm packing for 1 day, but like my shit is like everywhere because the other thing is part of the renovation is I got a closet built out with no closet. So it's like the walls, but I ain't got no rods up and nothing like that. I gotta have somebody come and do all of that. So it's a lot of suitcase living still. Don't have a functioning kitchen yet. Countertops will be laid tomorrow, thank God. So as of tomorrow, we'll have a functioning kitchen. But I've been in here, like I said, since July 5th. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of shit that I've been dealing with. Then on top of that, my worst quarter as a director was quarter 2. You know what I'm saying? So you go, like my role is heavily compensated on bonuses. Not all compensated on bonus, but we look forward to our bonuses. And my bonus for Q2 was less than 10% of my bonus from Q1. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you talk about, yeah.
And that's a
what it's like.
reflection
That's
of
what it's
like
like.
your
Damn.
productivity.
It's definitely a reflection of productivity, but not that the house was the reason I wasn't productive. It just was a perfect storm.
Real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw this somewhere online, but P said productivity, you said productivity. Does it matter to y'all? Because people was really beefing about this online.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I don't
give a
care.
fuck either,
No, I don't care. No.
They was really beefing about that shit.
I say productivity because I think of production. That's why I say productivity. You know what I'm saying?
I say product because I be thinking of that yayo.
Yeah, saying. Yeah, me.
But nah, man, I was dealing with, it was a lot of them. So I had a moment, man. I had a moment. And then so it was just bad timing, man. Like I said, there's a lot happened, man. It was the house, the renovations, which I knew was going to be undertaken, not to mention all the money that I've shelled out over the last, 2 months. Like, it's ridiculous. And then to not be performing, and then to get, my bonus looked like a bill, y'all. Like, just for perspective. Like, that shit. But I'm like, God damn, what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I'm saying? And again, like, I'm still blessed, right? Like, it's not like they gave me nothing. Like, I'm still blessed. But my point is, I was dealing with all of that. And then I had my mid-year review with my boss and director of finance and all of that stuff. That didn't go well. And then I just got in my head, because I'm like, because the way, so just so some clarity, right? Just for those listening. I work for a big company. And I'm only one of 6 Black directors in the whole company. So, and it's like, it's probably like, I don't know how many directors it is. It's a good amount. It's not proportionate, right? And we're working on that. So it's not like I'm not sending shots. Like, it's happening. But my point is, it's as one of 6, it's a lot of pressure, right, to be successful, because you got a whole group of people of color looking at you as the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to see you make it so they know it's possible for them, because based on the numbers don't suggest that it is, right? So then it's like, you hear about people in my role getting removed from jobs and stuff like that, and then you start playing this crazy psychological warfare game with yourself, right? And I kept saying, I'm like, yo, I have one bad quarter, out of the 6 quarters I've been there, I had one bad one. And I kept telling myself that. And then recently, my boss and his boss, well, my vice president and the president of the company, they're like, yo, Bell, like, why do you keep saying you have one bad quarter? Who said anything about your quarter? Who said anything? And like, where's this coming from? I'm like, well, now that I think about it, it's probably just me. You know what I'm saying? But it was just bad timing. Like, then on top of that, to add insult to injury, I knew my role was changing next year, because we're all of our roles are changing. And then I got like my assignment for next year, which happened to be nothing that we talked about. So then it's like, yo, am I getting removed from my job? Again, nobody, and I called Chief, because Chief, you if I didn't know no better, I would think Chief's writing a book, because every time I talk to him about work, he'd just be so intrigued. He'd just be asking me
that should be interesting,
all these damn questions. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and obviously we work in two different industries, right? I work in corporate, he works in the school system. So
Listen,
I get
I told you what it is. Tell my man, what's his name, Stu? Tell my man Stu, put me on the team. Me and you work together. You show me the ropes and we shut the city down. You know what I'm saying?
I could, hey, listen, I don't need Stu approval. I don't need Stu approval to bring you on, man. Stu's my guy though. But anyway, I explained it to him. I explained it to him in football terms. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Boom, 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 boom. He like, oh, so it's a bigger job. And I'm like, well, technically, yeah. He's like, so they trust you to do that. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, so what the hell is the problem? You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm being vague for because this is, listened to worldwide, but I'm being vague. But
and first of all, I understand what he's talking about when he talks about the corporate America thing. We just like to talk in football terminology.
Right. Right.
It's not like I'm remedial and shit.
Yeah, it's very easy to understand when you reference again, we played our whole lives, you know what I'm saying? But I was so far down the rabbit hole, even him trying to reason with me, like I wasn't willing to hear it because because what it was is my boss, we have our conversations go a certain way. And then when I had my mid-year review, the conversations didn't go that way. And I'm like, kind of like, all right, well, here's what I need from you. And they're like, well, all you gotta do is tell us what you need. I'm like, no, I've been telling you what I need and nobody's doing anything. So now it's like, all right. Now it's like, they're thinking like they're giving me everything I need. I'm thinking they're not giving me everything I need. Then I'm thinking that I'm so stressed with the house and the renovations. Oh, one thing I didn't mention is the house doesn't have central air. It's literally been up until recently 90 degrees for like 2.5 weeks in Boston. Like crazy. Like
y'all ain't got no air conditioning?
We had like window units, but I'm used to living in central air. You know what I'm saying? Central air ain't in the budget this year, bro. It ain't in the budget. So you got all that going on. You got a hot wife, a hot kid, and it's like, then you still got to perform. So anyway, long story short, like I was in a dark place, and shout out to my brother, Chief pulled up on me. He pulled up, and we went out. We had some tacos and nachos and shit. And
some nachos and shit.
And he stayed over, and it helped. It helped a lot. Like I just was overwhelmed, anxious, probably borderline depressed, right? Because it was just a lot of shit going on. And I felt like there was nothing I could do about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't control, because my performance at work, remember, I'm not a producer, right? I manage and lead. So I knew why my performance was low, and it made perfect logical sense, right? However, when you look at the numbers, it's like, yeah, I hear you, but I don't hear you. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, nah, I'm just trying to explain to y'all like what's happening. You give me some time, I can show you better than I can tell you that we're gonna get right. But all these things happen, you know what I'm saying? And they just weren't picking up what I was putting down. So then it's like, oh, y'all about to try me right now at my vulnerable spot, because I had a bad quarter and my answers aren't giving you the clarity that you need to make to feel confident that these things are going to turn around. But in my head, I'm like, no, I turn shit around. This is what I do. Like you got to understand what's happening. So it was, and without all this other stuff going on in life, I would have not gone to a place where it's like, oh, now they're trying to replace me. You know what I'm saying? And again, that wasn't reality. That couldn't have been further from reality, actually. And I fortunately had a meeting with both my president and vice president that was already scheduled. It had been scheduled for like 9 months. And it just happened to be good timing because I was able to get a lot of that stuff off my chest and help him understand where he could do better, and help him understand where I can do better. And we landed in a good place.
And
But
shout out to my man Stu again, because
oh yeah,
hearing that conversation when you was telling me how it all went down, like he put you at ease and, like, you know what I'm saying, put you in a place where you was like, okay, all right. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
and
So shout out to, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Shout out to good leaders.
yeah. Shout out to great leaders. Stu was a
No
great
doubt.
leader, and Stu is an avid listener of our podcast, and which I appreciate. And he brought Chief up during our because I'm telling him what's going on, and they helped me get to like therapy, right? Like they helped me get to where I landed on why it was so overwhelming. Because I was talking to my president, he's like Bells, he's like, you're not this emotional normally. Like, what's going on? He's like, there seems to be more. And I started explaining to him what I just explained to y'all. He's like, that's it. That was what it was. And he's like, hey man, you talked to Chief about this?
That's just crazy.
Like it's like, yo, my president over a multi-billion-dollar company, right? Said, did you talk to Chief about this? And I'm like, wow, like that's pretty dope. One.
Yeah,
Two, you know, I'm like, yeah. And he pulled up. You know what I'm saying? He pulled up. And when I said that in that meeting, I got emotional because like that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I needed that. And I didn't tell him to come. He just, and I'm 2 hours away, just so y'all know. Right? We live 2 hours away from each other. And he pulled up because I'm not like that. Like I don't wear, and Prince, I know you got a roll, bro. I don't wear
no,
my
listen, bro, we're not gonna cut right now.
I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm pretty calm, cool, and collected. And but he sensed it. So he pulled up. So that was appreciated. So just want to thank you publicly, my brother. I appreciate you.
Never thanks needed, cuz.
But you know what's crazy? I was thinking about at the end of you talking about. Thanks for sharing that shit, bro. Because I think I feel like I could hear you get more comfortable talking on the podcast. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I dig it. Isn't it crazy how you can like the timing of things can start making you paint things in a way that they aren't?
1,000,000%.
I'm thinking about how that sounds like, you know, exactly what you were doing. And because of the timing, you know, you start to repaint this canvas where ain't shit wrong with the picture. And I feel like I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm acknowledging that there are some ugly things that exist, but I'm not going to allow them to convince me that something's wrong here, something's wrong with this boundary, something's wrong with my decision. You get what I'm saying? And I think if we, you know, like, I don't know how you process
So,
things, though. What?
so it's the complete opposite, right? What you're saying is accurate,
Right.
but it's the complete
Yeah.
opposite. I have a lack of information, so I'm creating my own narrative.
Mm.
Right? You have all the information, so you created it. You painted the picture based on the facts, like what you
Right.
have. Now you're dealing with how that picture looks,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm dealing with how that picture looks too. But the only difference is I made the picture up. The picture don't really exist in real life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
think it's so dope at how two completely different scenarios still tie into this, like the same
They
circle.
do.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like that, and that's the dope part about having these type of conversations. Just taking a minute to talk to your homies and get some shit off your chest, and you never know. Like Prentice just pulled a whole different theory from your story. It had nothing to do with really his story, but like the way it connected is just so fucking dope.
yeah. I wouldn't have put that together until you said it.
It's choice and influence.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's all choice and influence, bro. It's you know what you do know. You choose what you do with that information. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes because you don't know shit, you influence to create some shit to feel more at peace about it.
I
You know
never
what I
heard
mean?
it put that way.
Right.
I've never heard it either, but I'm high now, so
I
I'll
like
be
it.
saying,
Trademark that shit. I like that.
This nigga about
That's
to
all it
dropping
is,
some
man.
knowledge on us. He high about that.
Nigga, I'm always high.
Dude, nah, this was needed. That's what I was saying. Like we got to get to it. And you know, we're gonna hit y'all with some topics that, you know, apply to everybody, but you know,
I still think
human.
people will pull some
We
gems from
human.
this though. Like,
No, I mean,
I think-
yes, the vulnerability for sure.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
So it sounds
it
like
was
we wrap
needed.
up.
Absolutely needed, man.
Yeah, Prentice, he got a role. So yeah, no, I needed to hear different perspective from you. I needed to be here for you all to speak. You know what I'm saying? And Chief, you have more shit going on than
I do, but I think the only thing that's kind of like overwhelming me right now is just I got a lot to do. Like I was telling people before we hit record, like it's just I've put the pressure of everything on my plate. Like I'm the writer, the producer, the director, the stage manager, the promoter. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it all. So I'm
Can
just
you
trying to get my
delegate any
ducks.
of it?
I'm trying to get my ducks in order so I can know exactly what I want, how I want it, and then be able to delegate it. You know what I'm
You ain't
saying?
got a lot of time.
No, I don't. But again, once I do
Oh.
that, that'll be done this weekend. And after that, it's just straight locking in on rehearsing and getting right. It's 35 pages of shit I got to remember. You know what I'm saying?
That's intense.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
it's a lot, but you've seen it before, Bell. You know how you've seen it before. You know it works. You know what I'm saying? A couple edits to it and a little bit different scenery on stage, and it's gonna work, man. It's gonna be dope. I'm like really
It's the
excited.
same script.
It's only gonna get better. That's
Same
the
script,
crazy shit. And the
small
first one
edits
was dope.
small edits here and there, and some little bit more scenery, some musical accompaniment. It's gonna be dope, man. I'm like really excited about it because
Prentice, I know you got a lot going on. Can you make it out for that?
that's a week.
Oh yeah. You know the plan is definitely to pull up.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, since this nigga's asking me and shit, yeah. This is the plan. I'm definitely trying to pull up, but I ain't trying to miss
Well,
that
that's a
shit,
week
man.
before your joint too. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be in Arizona the
I
week
know.
after. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if
It's
it's too
gonna be
much,
some
don't worry
wild
about it.
times, boy.
No, if
I
it's,
might
if
have
it's
to
too
figure
much,
that
don't
out.
worry about it. I know the budget.
Yeah, man.
Fly across country ain't easy, bro. Especially.
Yeah,
Hey, we booked
I
the
got
air. We booked the Airbnb. We got it now, so we in walking distance for everything. It's a
man,
wrap.
I got so much travel coming up, bro. I gotta figure this shit out.
We'll make that work.
Travel.
Not just in general the trip, but yeah, I got some shit I'm moving and shaking too. But Bellhead. Actually, no, P, you can go there. P, give us a final thought, B.
Final thought. Just keep going. You know what I mean? Keep going. Keep going. That's all I got, man. Just keep going, man.
Keep going. That's I hashtag that a lot behind my post. Just keep going.
I do too.
You know what I'm saying? Good
Yeah,
matter.
you just gotta keep pushing. It ain't always gonna feel good. You for sure will never have everything figured out. Don't try to convince yourself you're healed if you're not. But it's okay to believe that you are. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay to believe. Like I know I'm more than I was before, but you know I may not be fully healed and shit.
Yeah,
So I gotta deal with cuts.
Yeah, well, take this new healed you to therapy.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do that shit.
Go ahead.
I don't know if this applies, but I feel it, so I'm gonna say it. The work is never done. Right? Like even when you start seeking the help, right? Even when you seek close friends for guidance and help, the work is still it's never done. It's working. We're all work in progress, right? And we have to keep moving towards it to be a better version of ourselves every day. And keep good people around you, right? Because they may be the ones that get you through.
Yeah,
for sure. I got 2 points, man, and one is listen to your people. You know what I'm saying? Listen to them, and sometimes showing up for them literally might mean showing up for them. You know what I'm saying? And 2, if you're gonna do therapy, if you're gonna go to therapy, go into it with an open mind and like the willingness to be vulnerable, uncomfortable, and grow. You know what I'm saying? And that's like I don't know, key point to going to therapy. Just be willing to be vulnerable and uncomfortable because that's
it won't work otherwise.
You have to be willing. You have to want to be better in order to actually be better.
It won't work otherwise.
Right. Lastly, I think I want to give away like 2 free tickets to some of our supporters or something. If somebody around and they want to,
that'd be dope.
We got to figure out. Yeah, we can't just be giving shit away. We got to figure out what they can do for tickets.
Right. I mean, either way, supporters who watch the podcast, if you want to come to the place in Connecticut, shoot us an email, man.
Shoot us an email on why you deserve them, and then we'll read it. and then we'll give it to you if you win. We're gonna pick
I
the
think
best
that's
one.
dope, though. Shoot us an email, and it's
You got to. Have you put clips up of the last one?
No, not yet. I'm waiting until next month to kind of, what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I want some of our supportive people I don't even know to just pull up and be like, yo, we support y'all. I came to see just because we listen to the podcast. I think that'll be dope.
Yeah, and don't worry about if you. Actually, I won't even say that. I'll save that. Never mind. Moving on.
So what's your suggestion? Email us and tell us why you deserve 2 free tickets.
Yeah,
I think that's dope.
because
I
the
think that's
tickets
kinda
ain't
cool.
cheap. You know what I'm saying? So why you deserve 2? And we'll read it to you. Yo, there's so many topics. So first of all, thank our listeners. I thank our listeners too, because we've been absent and we understand, right? But we had a lot of shit going on, clearly.
A lot.
So many people been sending us great topics, man, that we got to
Yes.
get to. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's
So
dope too.
I appreciate that, man. It's like I be communicating with some of them like via DMs and even emails. Like I know you guys have sent me some. I just haven't been as responsive on the emails, but I know you guys have. But anyway, we appreciate all the submissions, and we'll get to them because all of these topics that we've been sent are like, yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's literally what we say, just so
Yeah,
y'all
we
know.
gotta talk about that.
We send a screenshot to the group chat. I was like, yeah, we got to talk about that.
Somebody, one of the supporters sent us like an Aaliyah 4-page letter, which was dope. Like she was locked in.
Yeah, I think we're gonna dedicate at least a portion of the episode to address that, right?
For sure.
Yep.
That was dope. So yeah, man, we glad to be back. We're gonna keep this train moving now, and y'all be hearing from us consistently again until we take another break.
But yeah, we took a mental health break, y'all.
No,
that's what
real,
that was.
Sometimes it be. But per usual, y'all, do us all a favor, hug a black man today. Actually, you know what? Gotta rewind that real quick because you gotta catch us on social media and all Black Men Therapy on all social media.
We on TikTok now too, which that could be another episode because I'm really like,
yo, anybody want to do our social media for us? Holla at us.
Matter of fact, y'all want some tickets? Do our social media.
We need somebody to do the all Black Men Therapy social media. If
we
you know somebody who knows somebody who do that, holla at us, please, because we ain't good at it.
Nah,
we damn sure ain't. Nevertheless, again, per usual, do us all a favor, hug a black man today.
Do it.
I wish I could see this fool end tomorrow.
Do it.
We out, y'all.
Hey.